What you doing?
You're getting ready to paint the bathroom.
May I help you, Father?
Have you ever painted before? Get a brush. Well, they've been out in the carriage house for the last 60 years, so you can't even tell which ones were the new ones versus which ones were the old ones, other than all the dirt. And so we're just gonna looks like we have a new project. Well, hey, you're just in time because we got water.
Yay, it works!
So we not only have water from one tap, we got water in two taps. Huh, remember when I said old house charm? I was going through some old pictures and noticed that we had separate hot and cold taps, which kind of makes sense because the sink was kind of designed for that. And we're gonna have to come up with something for this because we don't have the stopper, plunger, or the dry waste that attaches here. Did find one in the basement, but it doesn't match this one. And so we're gonna have to research and see what we can come up with for that. But you know, why have an old house and not have appropriate hot and cold taps? But it's kind of funny when we asked our daughter what she thought of the idea. She was like, that would be great because when my friends come over, they won't know what to do. And like I said before, we're not here to renovate. We've been de-renovating. So, you know, anybody else have an old house and still running your hot and cold taps? Drop them in the comments. You know, kind of curious if we're the only weirdos out there. But, you know, next, we need some color in this room.
You didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you?
I was hoping. It's literally one screw. Don't understand painters who just paint around this thing, because if you ever have to change out that switch plate cover, it may not match. So save yourself a step instead of time and take that thing off. Anyway, we are going to be changing that, so that's why I bring that up. But it hasn't arrived yet, and in the meantime, we have a blue room. And yeah, speaking of which, that last song you just heard was called "It's a Blue Room," popular tune back in 1926. And so we got our painted ANAGLYPTA wallpaper. We opted to go for a slightly lighter blue than that tile, because when we were comparing our tiles to what they had painted back in 1964, assuming when they did that tub, yeah, it seemed a little dark and kind of hard to imagine this entire room that dark blue. And so we opted for something about 50% of that tile color after we saw this paint sample book from the late 1890s. And well, it only had one blue, and it was pretty much this. And so rather than wasting a lot of time walking through the aisles of paint swatches or trying to chase trendy names, we went with the lighter blue. Now we need to get these crest painted, which we're going to do in a metallic silver. And in that old dark blue, all those vines were painted by the 9 kids that they had here. And well, in keeping with that tradition, our daughter has opted to tackle this next project. And so there's about 1,600 crests in here to paint. So have fun, kid.
But oh, what those rifles could do. Has anybody seen my girl? Turned up nose, turned down hole, flapper, yes sir, one of those. Has anybody seen my girl? Now if you run into a 5'2" covered with fur, diamond rings and all those things, bet your life it isn't her. But you can love, could she woo, could she coo? Has anybody seen my girl?
Ta-da! Not bad. Not bad at all. She's coming along. Still got a long way to go, but we've made a lot of progress. And, well, our daughter did a fantastic job doing the silver. Unfortunately, we ran out of the rough and puff silver, so we're going to have to order more. And I did not have the ladder set tall enough for her, so we got some spots up there. I think about 2 rows left from the top to finish off. And some of the corner details here, a little tight, so we're gonna have to create a custom stencil for that. That stencil was basically to keep the silver off the thing. Kind of used as a little guideline. One of the things I used to do for a living was those raised signs for like bathrooms and whatnot when I did architectural graphics. And well, that was a skill that I picked up about 20 some odd years ago. She's coming along. Still got a long way to go. Sure made a lot of progress. And cost so far, we spent $3 a tile, getting about 15, 20 tiles for our floor. But beyond that, the clawfoot tub that started all this, that was free. And well, the wallpaper found down in the basement, that was free. The paint, that paint was also down in the basement, that color, and had a date on it when nobody lived at the house. So not exactly sure how that got down there, but it was a brand new full gallon, and so that worked out fantastic in here. So once again, free, and well, free child labor, can't beat that. But next, we're gonna put this window back together, and I'm not entirely convinced our woodwork that we found out in the carriage house is fully savable, and or maybe it is savable. Why don't we pop down to the basement and show you what we have to work with. Ta-da! Well, here's our wood. And so, we found these out in the carriage house. We had no idea why or what they went to, because at the time, we didn't know that bathroom was blue. And so we had all this woodwork that was clearly the crown molding and above the window sash there, the window sill, and whatever you call that piece that goes under that. And so the paint's just falling off of there. But yeah, we had no idea that bathroom was blue until we found or had received those old pictures. And so that was quite helpful, because then we immediately knew where all this wood was. And so we are missing the side casings, the little ribbed side casings, but we removed a fake door, you might remember, sometime last year. Well, we kept all that wood, and they had matched that casing up to the rest of the woodwork in the house. So we're going to be transferring that to our bathroom window, and we're in the process. Next up, we're going to strip these windows, get the rest of that blue paint off of there, and restore the outside as well, which originally the windows on the exterior were not white. The color, I've already started this one, double hung sash windows. That one turned out really nice. That original color on the exterior of all our windows was black, and I believe that's linseed oil paint, because that's tough stuff to get off. So that's a little slow going there, but we're gonna get that glass put back in there and get those reglazed. We're gonna hang those windows and well, see if we can't save this wood and get it put back up around our window frame.
Do you think it's savable?
That's a great question for next week's video.